we're going to move on to relationships.
Okay.
And relationships between clients and their accountants.
Yeah.
And actually, some people will see an accountant as a cost rather than an investment.
Yeah.
If they're not seeing the value and that sort of thing. Obviously, you know, you've been with us for
Coming up to 8 years.
And you know that we value the relationships more than anything. So just, you know, we've spoken earlier on about, you know, people have to come and talk to us. I always call it the 1970s solicitor. People would never make a decision back in the 70s without, I need to speak to my solicitor or lawyer, as they would have said back then. You know, how are we adding the value to our clients to make sure that they see that we are not a cost?
Yeah, I'll be honest, it's one of the biggest frustrations I have for people that come in the door that are coming from another accountants, that they don't see that there's a relationship there. If you don't have a relationship with your accountant, then how can you feel like you can trust them by ringing them up and asking a question? You know, people often say, I don't want to ask a stupid question, but there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Yeah.
There's only, you know, there's no such thing as a stupid question.
There is.
Is there?
There is.
Well, what's a stupid question?
The one you don't ask.
That's very true. And again, we can't advise if we don't know the questions. And it really, really infuriates me when I hear people saying that they've spoken to their accountant and they don't understand it. If there isn't that communication to be able to explain something in terms that someone understands, then there's no point in having the conversation.
And the relationship's not there because actually if you don't understand, so if a client of ours doesn't understand, we actually get to the point in the meeting where we'll say, do you know what we are saying? Yeah. And I think I know the relationship's there, that they are willing to say, no, I don't. We'll go back and explain it a different way.
Exactly. If you don't feel comfortable enough to have difficult conversations with your accountant, then you shouldn't be with them. It's as simple as that, because without having the difficult conversations, you can't grow to where you want to be.
So if I look at my journey through the accountancy world, I can hand on heart sit down and say, most meetings I have with clients, 10% is to do with the accounts. Because the fact is, we have built the relationship to a place where they trust us enough to know those figures are right.
Yeah.
I don't need to interrogate my accountant about them because that's what they're good at doing. Let's just say a mechanic comes in who's got the garage. I don't go to them and ask them, have you made sure you've tightened up the flange on this? Yeah. I say to them, is that car going to be able to drive me home? They say yes. I go, right, there's your money, and off I go.
Yeah. So
the fact is, our clients don't question whether we've done calculations right, whether we thought about this, thought about that. The 90% of the meeting is about their business and how they're feeling about their business and how we could help them potentially in other areas.
Yeah, so I generally find, as you've said, sometimes I'll do it right at the start of the meeting, sometimes at the end. The thing I'm more interested in when talking to a client is how they're feeling about their business, how they're feeling about how their business is supporting what they want. And knowing exactly where they want to be helps us guide them. It helps us support, and it kind of gives that relationship.
Go back to the plan. If you haven't got a plan, you don't know where you are going.
Yeah, and worse still, you might be at point A, know you want to be at point B, but you don't know the steps to get there without that plan. And then being held accountable to that plan. That's the really important part, because how many people have a business plan that they might stick on their wall and completely ignore until the next year's accounts, and we go, well, that was your plan, what have you done with it? Oh, it's been on the wall, I've looked at it, I've not changed it.
And I think, again, part of the reason some clients are intimidated or nervous around accountants is they think it is a big mystical art of accountancy. It is no different to what they do. Yeah. We are just good at this. Yeah. They are good at that.
Don't try and ask me to build a brick wall.
Absolutely.
Couldn't do it for life nor money.
Absolutely.
But ask me how to get a bank to balance. I can do it.
Absolutely. So the fact is, it is just the job we do. You know, we couldn't go into surgery and repair someone's knee.
I'd like to try.
Absolutely. But we couldn't go and repair a knee because that's not the job we do.
No, and it's not what we trained for.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've come to the horrible realisation that I've been an accountant for half my life now. You know, we're going on, waking up Monday to Friday and going and doing accounts. And I've come from a background where it's been the manual records, the books, the bags of receipts, and I've watched the industry transform to what we are now, and we're no longer needing to do all that boring work because we've got technology that can help support us.
Absolutely.
And we are there now to actually do what we used to do in the 80s. Well, not me, but what was done in the 80s. We're now there to actually help guide them again, because we can trust the numbers.
Absolutely.
The numbers make sense to us. They take the time it takes to look at them. But actually where our meaning comes in for clients is understanding the numbers, transforming those numbers into something that makes sense to them, and then actually advising on how to move forward.
Yeah. They're essentially the efficiencies of technology is meaning clients' money is better spent on things that will help them rather than just getting a bank to balance.
Yeah. Yeah, they no longer have to worry about keeping boxes and boxes of receipts in the attic for years to come, because it's all saved on the cloud for them.
So essentially, rather than us spending time on the profit and loss and the balance sheet, we are there to help our clients make informed decisions on how to best run their business to make their lives better.
Yeah, and it's not always to generate the most profit. Not every client wants to make £1 million. They want to have a better work-life balance. Nobody ever leaves a business as an employee to go work for themselves, to work longer hours with less money. And that's something that as accountants, we can help guide them. We've got the experience, and it might not be for myself in particular. I've never run a business, but I've learned from all the clients I deal with exactly how they operate, what pitfalls they've had, how we've supported them to get them out of that, to help guide new clients or new people in business how to get past those pitfalls without falling into them.